individual debates, we had meetings with them, and I'm not condemning them, I'm just saying that we're different. And the similarities are not there for us to be excited about, and this is what we've always told people who ask for this compulsive coalition, because yeah, a lot of people are just wishing that we can have a coalition. But the question you should ask yourself is, where are these other younger candidates campaigning? You can't find any evidence of campaigning. We did town hall meetings, we were showing it live, we did meetings, we did individual meetings, we went abroad, we went home, we went to swim in the river, we've been to see herdsmen, fishermen, we've seen pastors, we've seen traditional rulers. They're not doing that. They sit down in one corner and they're looking for endorsement, which in my view is not the kind of politics we're practicing. We already have lots of people. Our supporters, our members, combined together are bigger than several of the coalitions that are. So if anybody wants to join the coalition, they should come join us, and we will be open to it, but we'll also be very cautious about it so that we don't get infiltrated.
So that is to say that there's none of them as we speak right now that can even excite you to say I want a coalition.
We've already discussed this before.
It's just to emphasize that.
There's nothing to re-emphasize. We've always made it very clear. So there was a time that people were worried that maybe this Sowore cannot debate Kingsley. And then we had the TVC debate. It was clear to everybody that my position on a number of issues are different from Kingsley Moghalu. I'm just naming names now. The concerns that maybe Fela was a better speaker than Sowore, motivational speaker than. And then they've seen Fela and I. We went at collaboration. He spoke, I spoke. I think our positions are very clear. Fantastic speaker, but I can also express myself. And beyond that, there's history, there's pedigree. Look, what have these young people done in the past? When the country had military rule, you didn't fight. When we had occupied Nigeria, you didn't fight. When we had all kinds of issues that injustice against people, you didn't fight. I'm not saying that you have to be a fighter to be president. I'm just saying that is one consistent line I've always had, is that I stood for what I believe in, and for you to have me believe in you, you must have some consistency too. So nobody should be worried or be discouraged. The real coalition is us, and that's what is going to happen. I told the story severally about how we went to a meeting at Charlie Boy's house, and they were saying, oh, the elders want to accept. They're looking for somebody they can accept. And they're saying Sowore is not acceptable to the elders. It's true. I don't want, if I gain the acceptance of the elders, so I'll start worrying about my sanity. We're talking about the political elders who destroy this country. So that's why I'm different.
Well, is that to say that you don't feel anything is being removed at all from this emphasis on new generation candidates? If they isolate you and decide to go and merge, nothing is being removed at all.
Let me break it down to you. There was a time Kingsley and Fela went to PAX and Fela won. Kingsley said, even after accepting the results, the documentation, Kingsley said he doesn't respect the outcome of the PAC. Kingsley went ahead with his ambition. Did anything get removed? Definitely no. If it was, the Kingsley even said that there was an attempt to kill his ambition, the pact at that time. So they've entered into another pact now, or coalition they call the Force. So let's see who is going to step down for who. But what this shows is that Kingsley has successfully been able to browbeat Fela to surrender to him. And that's what Kingsley has always said, that Fela is not what the outcome of that result. You interviewed Kingsley at the University of Lagos. He said it very clearly that the reason why nobody respected the outcome of PAC was because he didn't produce Kingsley, which was an indictment on Fela's validity. So now, if Fela surrenders to Kingsley, it shows that Fela was never real before. And now he has finally accepted the superiority of Kingsley over him. Sowore does not accept the superiority of Kingsley and Fela over him, because the empirical evidence shows that on the street we have credibility, on the airwaves we have credibility, everywhere where we have plenty of credibility, and availability of evidence to show that we have more followers across the country, because we actually go out there to meet people and people meet us across the country. We are not a Muslim candidate or a Christian candidate or a candidate for the elites or a candidate for business people. We are candidates for everybody. Look at today, the Speaker of the House of Representatives issued a statement that 30,000 naira is grossly inadequate as minimum wage. So finally, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who is supposed to sit over the law that will make it legitimate, is saying that that money is not enough. Sowore has been saying it forever, 9 months. Now everybody is coming. He even used the word living wage. Obi and I are in good terms, on good terms, so no problem. But I knew that she won't go very far.
And I must say that Obi is probably one of the few presidents who have ever, abused their president and say this thing you are doing is wrong, and she never even took it against.
I don't.
Others just say it's rude.
No, because they know I'm honest. They know that when I say things, it's because there are things I'm convinced about, and they can respect me for that, because that part of me has also rocked off even their own struggle. They know when someone has said the truth. There's nothing I said to Obi's face that I didn't say to Kingsley's face. And Fela, I joked about Fela that when we become president, he can get a position as the DG of National Orientation Agency. And when he saw me, he made fun of me. He's like, "Oh, Minister of Information." I said, "We have downgraded you." Because but on a serious note, there is really nothing there that if you follow our trajectory very well, you see that there's nothing that is going on now that we haven't spoken about. When we went on MTA and they were asking about corruption, I mentioned that of the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Nobody could disprove me that 2 years ago I did reveal that the man had money that he couldn't account for. But the EFCC issued a statement condemning Sahara reporters for it. Yes. That's how.
And today they are
finally the other thing was.
Were they retracting the earlier press statements?
Oh, they don't care. They have no history. The other thing you must understand was that there was also a conspiracy against us in the debates. All these young candidates were part of it somehow, either by direct acquiescence or complicity. When they said Sowore should not debate, they knew that if they boycotted the debates, they would have been forced to bring me into debate. But they were the happiest person that I was not debating, and they thought that after the debate, nobody would remember Sowore again. After the debate, we were trending, even though they were the ones. We were the ones people were talking about, even though they were the ones debating. And after that, the NTA thing showed superiority of not just Sowore, but his vice that people didn't know about, who came and proved himself on national TV.
And that leads me to the your campaign trips so far. Yeah. How many more elections are just here already? Yeah. How many more states or places would you like to visit before the elections?
We've done 5 geopolitical zones already. We've done the northwest, northeast. We just concluded, and part of north central. We did Jos. We've done south. We've done southeast, except Ebonyi, and now. We've done North Central, and then we are now in the Southwest. So Southwest we start pretty soon, I think on Friday in Ibadan, Oyo State.
So that would be all for campaign. You're almost done with all the.
Pretty much. So many of the places we're going to now, we've already gone to those places in town hall meetings. So it's going to be a second icing. It's going to be an icing on the cake. Icing.
And talking about the last one you visited, there was this meeting between you and the Prophet Issa.
Yes, Prophet Issa.
Yes, he was talking something about coalition that he also met Fela and the rest of them before. What is the story of that? What do you make out of that coalition thing?
I'm not religious, right? right? But I will tell you the story of what happened. So the spirit was speaking through Prophet Abuba, and his flesh came in at the end, and his flesh was that he's had this conversation with Fela, and then he revealed that where they're like, Sowore is the problem, can you just let him know that he might need to step down for somebody? But I told him at the end, I said, look, this is what the spirit says. the coalition must produce a they didn't have that kind of acceptance when they were around. So you could see there's a picture of Zeke when he went to campaign somewhere, like 12 people, because that was how many people accepted their messages at that time. But there's no way we have been that we didn't have crowd followers and we didn't pay for these crowds. As opposed to the other big parties who would pay people, rallies are transactional, but the kind of rally we do is the one that go to meet people in their places of existence and business. So that's why you don't know how people are.
But that was actually not my question. I was asking, you didn't have to put so much effort to convince people to abroad like you had to do here.
People abroad have different characteristics from
exactly. That's what I'm asking.
So if you're abroad, if you're watching now, you're watching on your own computer, you have data because you bought your data, you pay once a month and it's cheap. You have electricity. All those objective conditions are working in favor. In Nigeria, the opposite is the case. But I'm just saying that regardless, if people are not convinced, we wouldn't get the kind of...
That is not in doubt. Yeah. People are getting...
Yes, the message is passing on to them. But the percentage is unbelievably high, for a political party that is 5 months old, and for a movement that is 9 months. I was the last person, apart from Obi, I was the last person to enter the presidential race. But our party, our candidature enjoys the most rich Nigeria today. That is undeniable.
If Nigerians in diaspora were to be voting, no doubt.
They voted already.
Clearly,
we won by
the one that I will be counting. If they were to be voting,
we don't know because
the
elections are not. That's what I'm saying. You see, a lot of political calculations that would shock people in this election. You don't know that there are silent voters who are not out there, and that was what killed Hillary Clinton in the U.S. She took it for granted that because she was loudest, that most people would vote for her. But a lot of people wanted to vote for Donald Trump. They didn't say it in public. Even if we ask them, they'll tell you they're voting for Hillary because it's the most politically correct thing to say. Because if you say you are voting for Trump, you are already labeled as a racist. But when it was time for voting, they voted for a different candidate. And that's what is happening in this case. If you are monitoring the way people are talking, the way people are embracing the ideas, people are looking for a third alternative. And that's where our popularity comes from. And you cannot discountenance that. It used to be that people say to you, oh, if you don't go to the market women, forget it, you know. But when you look at even what INEC released, market women are smaller compared to students and youth. You know, maybe the portion that is market women is like 6 million voters. Students and youth, 22 million voters. That tells you something about what might flip in this election. And you just have to watch out for it. But don't make any assumption except you have empirical evidence. But I'm saying this is your table and your laptop is not enough to conclude anything.
You were reporting the election with your laptop until 2015.
I'm just telling you, but you know that I also had people call me.
That's a model.
I had a network. You know, so your model is a model.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about you know, when you started out, a lot of people began with criticism such as no structure, no this, no that. But now they're no longer talking about that. They have changed it to okay, let's look at the crowd following him. When APC and PDP have, I'm just going to rephrase it this way now. When APC and PDP have their own show, like showbiz that they do, they have this crowd. Does it discourage you in any way?
No. Look, what they did is they had a policy of pauperizing people, they made them poor, so that they can bring them to a stadium when they parachute and then wave at them with music and water and food, and then they walk away. There's no message there, no message in there. If they're sure that crowds can do it for them, they would have gone back now and relaxed. They won't need to remove the Chief Justice of Nigeria in the most unconstitutional way. They are afraid. They know that the relationship between them and the crowd is transactional. It's like, so it's the same crowd that went to APC rallies that are going to that of PDP when they come into town.
Usually.
Yes, that's the way it works. It's the job of poor people to go to rallies, but they made them poor. So that cannot determine the outcome of an election. That much I can tell you based on. They don't have any structures, you know, I say it all the time. They have retail outlets for conducting political transactions. And they're like ShopRite of intimidation, bribery, corruption, and then indoctrination. I don't even see indoctrination in it because there's no logic and, you know, there is no substance to what they're preaching. There's nobody who convinces anybody with an APC agenda or APC manifesto. So I think one of your cameras is
just a second. It's working actually, but I just want to check. People are complaining about the noise of the generator, so I want to see what I can do quickly.
Then tell them you are running this from Lagos.
1 second, people, will be back shortly. I'm still live. But people are complaining that the noise on the generator is too much. But let's continue, no problem. So let us move on to another issue, because I've stepped on many toes even before coming to contest at all. One of the, another segment or sector of people you have probably stepped on are the media people.
Yeah.
You offended them too somehow. You offended them because most of them refused to start reporting. They refused when you first started to be reporting you whenever you went out.
Yeah. And then, so there's a relationship between me and the mainstream media. So it was like the offense started when Sahara Reporter started, and I came with this in-your-face media company that they all predicted would fail. You know, and they said, "Look, who are you? You're not a professional." And I came. Sahara Reporter became a phenomenal success, and actually drove a lot of them out of business. Not in a way that they expected it. So there's that grudge. Yeah. There's a second issue about them just looking at me and saying, you know, how dare you think you can be successful where we haven't succeeded over these years. That's also it. The fact that there was a lecture I gave years ago, and I predicted that if they don't change and upgrade their ways of doing business, they may end up becoming writers for Linda Ikeji. They laughed at it. Now, so many of them can't even find jobs at Linda Ikeji's company because they are not digital enough for even her own kind of journalism. And what Sahara Reporters did encourage a lot of citizen journalists, people who are starting, because we lower the barrier to entry into journalism. They don't forgive me for that. And they don't also like me because I'm in their face. When they do wrong, I call them out, and they don't like that. These guys are, they are part of parcel of the elitist system in the country that is controlling things, and they come and dethrone them, challenge them. Nobody likes that. It's offensive. So they feel offended, and they decided almost unanimously that one, they will be reporting Sowore, and secondly, that if they will report me at all, I have to pay for it. And I said to them, I'm not giving anybody money to report. I don't have the money first and foremost, but most importantly, I can't pay for such. I can't pay for such things. So I see it in their chat rooms. I'm a member of a number of journalists' chat rooms, and I see how they dismiss me. But now they can't anymore. But they're still upset. I remember when we started, NTA would never interview us. Channels did a few times.
That's exactly my question. What then did you do? What happened at some point?
They said it's too tedious to even have a discussion about whether I come to the place or not, because they're afraid that I'll say something that will just cause trouble and things like that. So it's some kind of gang up against my candidacy, but I'm used to it. They did that gang up on Sahara. It started with Sahara Reporters. They are not forgiving me for what Sahara Reporters became within the media world. Yeah.
Let me ask about visitation. You visited Ooni of Ife. Something happened. Yeah. Since then, we have not really seen you visiting, palaces as much as you started. You were frequenting at that time, and people were asking.
I wasn't frequenting palaces.
No, I mean,
I visited.
You did.
I visited the Emir of Kano. I visited the Alafin of Oyo. I visited the Deji of Akure, and then the Ooni of Ife. It didn't happen. And I recently visited the traditional ruler outside of Abuja. So it's not that I don't. I visited one also in Igondo. So I still visit palaces. But to be honest with you, it takes too much work to visit a traditional ruler. Considering that, and I'm being honest here, that after waiting for 3 hours for a traditional ruler, he's already had a candidate he's going to vote for or who is working for. It's sheer waste of time. I consider it to be, and I prefer to visit the people. That's where I spend most of my time. I've had a lot of traditional rulers invite me to visit even then, and some of them we talk to, and I'm fine with the way things are. I do not want to pretend that I'm going to spend my time waiting in palaces when there are opportunities to meet young people, meet market women, meet people who are real voters, who will vote for you. They are convinced, as opposed to people who are made up their mind that they are going to work for government officials who are in power.
Because the reason I ask that question is most of the people who are asking this question are from Benin City. Mostly, largely. Yeah. Some of them are saying, when are you visiting the Oba of Benin?
We applied to visit the Oba of Benin twice. We didn't get any response, and then when we got the response, I was out of town. I don't have anything against visiting the Oba. I visited the Olu of Wari as well. As you remember, I visited the Oba of Agadagba in Ondo State. So if I have the opportunity, I'll visit the Oba of Benin as well. If the opportunity presents itself. But the Oba of Benin, you have to apply to visit him, and they have to approve it. They have to issue a decree that you can visit. So until we get that, I can always get there. It's the Oba's palace, and I always say Oba top, but yeah.
All right, let's talk about 774 government areas in Lagos, in Nigeria. People are asking, although I saw a form online, we asked people to apply to be polling unit agents. How far has that gone? Because earlier today I featured your media director, Rachel Onamusi, and she was giving out our people, but she didn't tell us exactly how many more people are needed.
We need a lot of people, and I think we have about 120,000 polling units, and they're collating and calling it. So we have different means of recruiting polling units agents. One is through the online thing, but we also have representatives in states, local government, and wards across the country who are submitting names of agents. I don't know at this point how many we have, but I'm sure we're in shape.
Let's talk about funding. You wanted to raise some amount of money on GoFundMe and also locally. Would you say the amount you have raised so far is sufficient to carry you?
It's never sufficient, but adequate. Yeah, it's adequate to do what we need to do. That's why we're still in the race. We are the only ones who genuinely have been raising money transparently. And we can disclose who is giving us money. We read them out whenever we're on the couch, and we'll be on the couch tonight later on. So it's at this point I think we've surpassed 100 million combined. That's GoFundMe and Zenith Bank. We didn't know that we would be able to open a local account when we started, and when that succeeded, that helped a lot. In fact, at this point, more people have donated to the Nigerian account than people donated from abroad. So that tells you that there's better interest, which answers your first question about local interest. And this is the first time that I know in my lifetime that Nigerians are giving money for political reasons, the amount we're getting. Typically they collect, and they're still collecting from people who stole from them, but they know that we're not using public funds for election. They're giving to us. So that's where we are.
That leads me to the question of, yes, since you started Sahara Reporters, you know so much about Nigeria. But are there new things you started knowing that you never knew before since you started this political journey? Anything at all?
If I do, it will be something that will be subject of a book or movie in the future. So if I tell you now who's going to buy the movie, who's going to come watch the movie,
let's make it a movie because you don't read again. You don't read anymore.
Wait for it. But nothing substantial, but just some very interesting findings.
On a closing note now, you're asking people to vote for you as president of Nigeria, but people are also asking
president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those are two different things.
President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
One is constitutional, the other one is you can make that
ceremonial.
Yeah.
All right. How about the locals? I mean, senatorials, government. Because most of the time when we see you, it's not in every state that you have visited that you raise the hand of the governorship candidate up and say, this is the person for governorship in this state on the platform of AAC. And we are not also seeing them doing as much as you are doing as a president.
No, we meet everywhere. We had a governorship candidate in Delta. We raised his hand and we campaigned together. We have a governorship candidate in Lagos. We met and campaigned together. We have a governorship candidate in River State. We have in Enugu, Chidi, Wanya was there. We have in Adamawa, and we have a number of senatorial candidates. We have House of Rep members who are contesting. Perhaps that you haven't seen me raising up hands because that's not our style. We're not the flag waving person. Maybe it's also reduce, yes, so that we also reduce the errors, so that the president doesn't hand over to another presidential candidate. That's on a lighter mode, but everybody's doing whatever they can. We're a new party, we're younger, we're more compact than the behemoth bureaucratic parties that we're used to. We do things differently, mostly digitally.
And one last thing to Nigerians, Jew and then Nama come out. The Nigerians in the camera. But what would you like them to do as the elections are?
Trust me, it sounds redundant to keep repeating the same. I think people know what to do. The people who are calling us, people who are likely watching this know what to do. They're doing what they need to do. I can only thank them. I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart. They're doing way more than I can even imagine that they'll be doing. So a lot of people have lost faith even in a pan-Nigerian embrace of any idea that can. Until we came on board, and you're seeing Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, we're seeing young people, old people all coming together, and they meet me and they say, I'm voting for you. And most importantly, you're seeing a convergence of Nigerians abroad and at home agreeing on the same thing and having a lot of decisions visions around how they want the future to run. This is something that is amazing. I don't need to give people instruction. I have a feeling they know what to do.
You said something just now that reminded me, and I'm sorry to add, I'm supposed to round off now. You made a statement in the past where you said that Ijo people, that Ondo people, your part of the state especially was part of Ijo Arubo or something, not necessarily Yoruba, and that. But if you are going to win election, at least let's start from your state. You are certain about your state not divided against you.
No, what I did was telling people my origin. And that's not. I don't think anybody had an ethnic prism in which to look at me. You know, I'm the least ethnic candidate. People are confused about where I come from because I don't present myself as an ethnic champion. I'm not. You know, but when people ask me where are you from, I tell them I'm a Ijo boy in Ondo State. So that nobody thinks, oh, you know, you're lying. But I speak Yoruba. You know, I'm a Yoruba speaking Ijo person. I don't understand a word of Ijo. I speak Yoruba, and I grew up mostly as a Yoruba person, not as an Ijo person. But when it turns to my origin, that's where we're from, in Ondo State. So there's no confusion about that.
So you are clearing Ondo State?
I'm Ondo State. I'm a human being, you know. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Because a lot of people are confused. There are people who have even said, oh, maybe you have abandoned your Nigerian citizenship, you are now American. I said, no, I'm not. I'm a Nigerian. I carry a Nigerian passport. And I know what I mean. The Nigerian passport is the heaviest passport in the world. It carries a lot of weight. Mostly negative weight, so
a lot of body
negative, dead weight. So we're about to change that.
All right, thank you everybody. It's a wrap now, and that's just the bit we can go with Mr. Omoyele Sowore. It's been a fantastic time. I'm not able to read all your questions now, especially for those of you who are watching on Facebook, because we are having a terrible time with Facebook stream out there. But for those of you that are
not, you deliberately didn't want to stream us on Facebook. Were you paid not to stream us on Facebook?
Well, if somebody paid me to do that, I'll be a rich man by now.
That's what I did to me. Maybe working with them.
Well, I tried, you know, it's a network thing. But even those that saw us on YouTube are saying that your generator is making noise. All right, thank you everybody. It's been a very fantastic time. I'll see you again tonight if I get on the time. So thank you so much, and Mr. Omoyele Sowore will also be live on his couch. So watch
our time on the couch, 9:30 p.m. tonight. Alright, what it is. Be on the lookout for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and it's a wrap for now. Until then, sign out, signature as always. Keep talking about the things that matter. My name is Sherry.